All right. So first, before go through any of the background questions and anything we had on this end, wanted to open it up to you guys to see if you had any questions on your ends, to see if there's anything in particular you guys wanted to cover. Any questions you may have?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Chicago,
Yeah.
in the South area, and I see that the office that you have, the office where we can send the cards, is in Ogden Avenue, I think.
Yeah. So we here in Chicago, we don't have it where the cards can be dropped off. They talking to that UPS location, they were saying that it can only be shipped there. They can only be mailed.
Oh, okay. That was my question. If I have to mail them or I can take them. But okay, then that was only my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So with this thing, Stephen, did you have any particular questions before we get going? Okay. All right. So I think we'll take that as a no here, and we'll start going through some of our common questions that we have. So with this, first providing some background of Cards for Kids and our organization. With this, our overall goal, some of the key points here is bringing encouragement, uplifting spirits, and with now how it is, with the name, what we say, it's already a little bit outdated. We're not just sending cards to kids, but bringing smiles and uplifting spirits of children, families, seniors, veterans, and reaching these people in all different kinds of locations. Um, with this, also, you know, trying to bring about people's creativities with these handmade cards are big push that we're doing right now, and trying to encourage people to do is thinking outside of the box, not just making mass producing cards, but being as creative as possible, making each card individual. So, you know, you can have two identical, I was just spending this past week with my twin nieces, but they're completely different, and so that's what we're kind of trying to push across is just like my twin nieces are completely different, each one of these cards should be completely different because the people we're reaching are distinct. We've been getting a lot of people who understand that we need a lot of cards, so they've been kind of more mass producing them, but we're trying to be as distinctive as possible. And then another thing is global, reaching, uplifting spirits across the globe. And I think, as a lot of us know, even here in the US, we need a lot of different languages, but as we're expanding and, sending a lot of cards to South America, to Asia, across Europe, we need a wide variety of languages. So that's what we're encouraging people to do is, making sure that it's not strictly English, but making cards in multiple different languages if they're able to. A little bit here about the process. So people are making, whether it's on their own or in groups, making the cards, sending them to us where we proof and take pictures of it, ship them. And then we're posting the pictures using social media as one of our main channels for people to get confirmation and see some examples. And then the cards are packaged and sent to their final locations across the globe. And that's kind of what the final process is and how the people are being encouraged. And going through here, some of the overall questions that we're getting going through some of the main questions we get. And one of the things we get is people are wondering, with the name Cards for Kids, are the cards strictly going to children? Where are the cards being sent to? And what we always say is like the name's a little bit outdated because we're doing much more than just sending cards to children. Just like a minute or two, maybe like 5 minutes before this Zoom call started, just was sending some emails to this nonprofit called Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly, both the Chicago and San Francisco chapter, all about sending cards to seniors who, the organization is all about encouraging seniors in their different areas. So whether it's through nonprofits like that or sending cards directly to senior living centers, we're reaching seniors. And we have a whole bunch of different partnerships with hospitals, not just doing the most large renowned pediatric hospitals, but trying to reach some of the small to mid-sized ones that may be overlooked by other organizations. A lot of times when people are making those donations, they only look for the large, most renowned ones, but we get some that are often overlooked and may not get as many donations as other places. And then we do a lot of direct deliveries to the overcomers who we're serving, sending them to their homes. Then we also, something that's growing, we're doing more and more is with other kinds of, whether it's through foster homes or through other nonprofits, such as our partnerships with, our main way that we're going global is through Ronald McDonald House Charities. We have partnerships across the globe with those locations. And then also expanding now with more and more Make-A-Wish chapters as well, sending those cards to those kids who have critical conditions and encouraging them. Through military with a lot of VA hospitals. And then another tragic one is through schools when there's some kind of condition that's taking place. First time we sent cards to a location that wasn't a hospital was after the Sandy Hook condition. And that's when we started expanding to reach more people. Just a little bit more about what we're doing and why we need such a variety of cards. Global, over 40 plus different countries have received cards, reaching places outside of the US, have coverage in 6 continents, and that's the amount of countries and continents will all be drastically increasing now that we have a more efficient way to get cards there. And then the main thing was touched on a little bit before, but needing different languages. As we're, reaching out here in the US, had no idea that there's a strong Somali population in Minnesota and Maine, but like our partners there were asking for cards in that language. And, our partners, as expected, in Portugal and partners in Italy were asking for cards just in those languages. And our Ronald McDonald House in Italy was saying they may pass it along to all the Ronald McDonald Houses in Italy. So we may need a bunch more in that language. So getting cards in languages outside of just English is drastically expanding. For this, one of the common questions that we get is about volunteer hours. We have it on a frequently asked question page and consistently post reminders, but no, we are not able to sign off on volunteer hours for making cards. So people making cards on their own, we don't sign off on those. We only sign off on volunteer hours if people are counting cards, counting cards and doing volunteer projects here with us in Chicago. But it's encouraging people to start Cards for Kids projects and doing things on their own at school and being able to work those together to get their volunteer hours through their own school. With this, some of the different things people looking into to see other ways to get involved. A lot of times people are just thinking about the card making process and how that's all that goes on with Cards for Kids, but there's a wide variety of ways. So our main thing right now, what we're still trying to push is using kind of what we're doing here about video conferencing and being able to use this video conferencing to say during this time of social distancing, people are working together to make a difference. So if it is with friends or family or with coworkers or anything like that, using video conferencing to connect with others to show that you're working together. And we ask people to take a screenshot of that while you're making cards. And then another one of those ways to get involved is some of the behind the scenes volunteering. And that's people who are here in the Chicago area. And that's counting and packaging some of the cards that we receive. And the big thing too is we have to proof all the cards that we're getting, because it's some of the kids and people and seniors that we're serving have some conditions that they're overcoming that are more long-term, such as, epilepsy, autism, orphans, other kinds of things that aren't really necessarily like a feel better, get well soon, something we don't want to refer to their condition as if it's just temporary. So we want these cards to strictly have positive messages on them. So that way we need to double check each and every card that comes in to make sure that our partners who are receiving them can just open the bag, hand it to a child and know that they're being encouraged. And then with the last portion here is donations. And for this, trying to use this money to help make our mission and everything that we do a little bit more effective and making a bigger difference. So with this, helping with postage, sending cards and supplies across the globe, helping us get more volunteers. And the big thing, what you can see in the picture down at the bottom, is getting these entertainment systems. Our big goal is understanding that each one of our partner hospitals or homes has to promise to deliver all the cards room to room, because understanding that these kids who are, not even just kids, these people who are in the rooms are stuck there and may not be able to go and interact with other people and being a little bit more discouraged, and want them to feel that someone made this card just for them. And so we have all our partners promise to deliver that card room to room. But then thinking about it is also those kids stuck in the room, want them to be able to have just as much fun as the kids who are able to get up and move around. So we've been raising funds to purchase these portable entertainment systems. So it's like a computer screen and a Xbox, all of that's on wheels that can be rolled room to room. And ways to give back are on our website. We have a page, and then the big one that a lot of people overlook is just simply using Amazon Smile. So instead of going to Amazon.com, just using smile.amazon.com, and a portion of your purchase will be given to the nonprofit you choose, Facebook fundraisers, and lots of other ways to give back. And then A question that we often get here as well is accepting, are we still active during COVID-19? And the answer for that is yes, we definitely are. This is a record-setting time for us. Since we're reaching seniors and children with pre-existing conditions, we need to encourage these people. They need to be uplifted even more because they're even more restrained. So things, up and down, some of the people who are serving have been improved a little bit, but we are still doing our best to reach them even more. So with this part here, going into it a little bit more about the cards when you're making them, providing some background. So for the rules for them, our recommendations. So number one is getting as creative as you like. A lot of people think of, what are some of the cards that they've seen before and thinking, and something we say is more of that common phrase is think outside the box. But with this, it's more of think without a box. Thinking outside the box is here's your framework. What we're saying is like, don't even have a framework, just be completely free and make some kinds of cards that will be as creative as possible, thinking like that. And then with another one, with these cards and this artwork that you're creating, definitely using cardstock rather than construction paper. We've heard from some families where, going to their follow-up appointments, the parent was grabbing the phone keys wallet and the child was grabbing their card. That was something that they were taking with them to their follow-up appointment and using for more long-term encouragement. So with this cardstock being able to last longer, construction paper is something that falls apart within a couple weeks, and cardstock is something that can be used for a long time. There's a video of a mother talking about how they're going to keep the cards for the rest of the child's life. So definitely want these to be something that can be kept more long term. This next part here is one of the main takeaways is, with the message that's included is trying to provide encouragement. So wanting things like not saying get well soon, feel better, hang in there, wanting it to be something where you can give this card to anyone. We don't want these children or seniors or anyone to feel like they're getting this card because of their situation, and we don't want them to be reminded. So with me, as a gentleman with epilepsy, wouldn't want to feel like I'm getting this card because of my epilepsy, because I'm struggling, etc. It's more of, here is a card because you're special. That's what we want these people to feel. And so with this next part here, what we get a lot of is the second one, stay strong. And what we're always try to put out there is what we want to do is, instead of commands, using proclamations. So instead of commanding these people to things like stay strong, keep fighting, keep, all these little things that say, we know something's going on, but keep working, some kind of command. We just want to use proclamations saying positive things. You're the best, you're strong, you're overcomer, all these kinds of positive things rather than command. So between the two, you're strong is definitely better than stay strong, because it's something where it's, you could just see a child and them doing something positive and saying you're strong rather than stay strong is something that would be more associated to someone who's going through a difficult time. And then the other one is, last one on here is with tools that are used in terms of the art supplies. What we're telling people to do is avoid the fuzz balls and pipe cleaners, some of those kinds of art supplies that can transfer germs a little bit more. Also, they so they can transfer germs and also don't stick to the cards as well. So that's some things that a lot of our places have said, no, they don't want them at all. So we're trying to pass that on to people as well to not include those. Another one is with this here about holiday cards that we've kind of gone over or gone past a lot of the holiday seasonal messaging, but it's always, whether it's Easter, Christmas, or any kind of specific one-day holiday, encouraging people to not make cards that refer to one holiday, but make cards that can be cherished all year round. Those are much better and much something that can be included. Because as mentioned before about the child who took their card with them to every follow-up appointment, it's not something where a child is simply going to use for one day. There's a video in our timeline on one of our highlights about a video, and it's all of the parents showing some of the cards that they've received from us over the years up on their child's wall, how they have them all hung up there. If they were holiday cards or something for a particular season, they may not have been able to decorate their wall. And kind of what was mentioned earlier about, with our global presence, some of the different languages that we need. This will likely be, outdated every few weeks, because it seems like we're consistently expanding and hearing of new languages that are needed. But just an example of some of the languages that have been requested. The main ones that are needed the most, the kind of like Spanish that we're often short on, is Spanish, Romanian, Somali. Those are some of the big ones that there's often a decrease on. And then Kinyarwanda, I think we've only gotten like 1 or 2 of those cards. So those are trying to find ways to get some more of those cards. And Somali, that's now we're getting a few more places who have been requesting that. And with Romanian, the big one with that is we have 2 Ronald McDonald houses in Romania who want cards, obviously in Romanian, but then also have a strong presence here in the US who needs Romanian cards. And then something we're doing based on how things have been with our record-setting Q4 2020, we're working to make sure everything's more efficient on all sides moving forward. So have something that we put together to make things, a little bit easier as we're getting new volunteers coming in to help with this process. So one of the things is we're, overprotective of the people we're serving. So we do ask people to place all of their cards in some type of sealable bag, plastic, whether it's Ziploc or anything like that, just to protect them from germs, water, anything like that. So that's something that we've been asking for since the beginning, pre-COVID and everything like that, just to keep the cards safe. And then when shipping the cards, on the outside of the package, it's helpful if you include some kind of note on there saying like, these are general cards, or these are cards in, whether it's like seasonal or languages, or just some kind of comment on there highlighting what kind of cards are on the inside. And then also including if you are associated with your group. So here's an example from UBS Financial where they wrote their company name, letting us know it was from UBS Financial, and then highlighted that they were all general cards in there, which was helpful. And then inside of there, including a little note highlighting that there were cards in Arabic, Italian, and French, letting us know that they were to do that. And also it's helpful if when you're including those cards in there to be able to place them in separate bags so that we can be able to tell which cards go with which language. And it's just helping our volunteers being able to track those and count those and get those pictures up in social media and getting that more efficiently. But just a couple of examples. And then where to send the cards. Well, this is up here now, but we always have the address for where to send the cards will always be in several places. On our how-to page, on our contact us page, on our frequently asked questions page, our Facebook page. All of those websites that are ours, or social sites that are ours, will always have this mail, like where to mail cards to. You know, it's just looking on those pages, they'll always be updated. If anything ever changes, you can just look on those whenever need to ask a question or send an email. You can just look on one of those and you'll be able to see this email or see the place to mail the cards to. The other big thing, what we're trying to get people to do is to send us pictures from their events. So send us pictures of them making cards. So, you know, here are a couple examples of ones that we received over the last few weeks, but just a lot of times people see the artwork, but don't necessarily see the artist. We like to show that, you know, one of the hashtags and things that we talk about is volunteering is fun. People think about volunteer work as something they have to do for school or something they have to do because their work is doing it or some kind of punishment. But we like to show that, yes, volunteering can be a good time. Here are some smiles and work that's doing it. So then some of our, if you are posting those pictures and posting pictures of your cards, anything like that, then here are some of the hashtags that we often use. And then some of the other thing about with us receiving your cards and the packages like that, or when we receive your cards and the process with that, that's associated with that, we currently will not be sending emails or confirmation in terms of if we've received your package, but one way to get right now an immediate notification that your cards have been counted, not necessarily right away when it's received, but a notification that their card has been counted and processed on our end, is if you include your Instagram handle or Twitter, because we always, right now it's posting everything with this blog post here, Solemnly Swear, is we'll post pictures on social media of every package that we receive. So if you included your Instagram or Twitter, we'll post that picture on our social handle and you'll get a notification that Cards for Kids mentioned you. Currently, we have a meeting later this evening to talk to the person who's working on it, but we are working on a way to set up a process to automatically notify people via email once the cards are counted. So that's something in the future. We are asking people to include their email address as well. But that's not rolled out yet, still working on it. There's kind of here some more information. Just contact us if you are, you know, I think you were mentioning being in the Chicago area. So if you were interested in helping out some more behind the scenes, can reach out and, you know, talk about being part of the card counting crew, helping with some of that and some other ways that we're across all the different social platforms. We do have some of our volunteers who are looking into TikTok and Twitch and getting even more socially involved. So we are socially active in a lot of different ways. There we go. So I think that's the overall broad overview that we go through with our main questions. But did you have any other specific topics or?
Okay, I have another question.
Mhm.
My daughter wants to participate making cards, and maybe I don't know, my nieces too. Can I send them all together, or do they have to be on a separate envelope?
They can all be together. It's we have a lot of people who do it as like a family. They have like family packages, like there's so it's we get it in different ways. So there's some families who have done it where families are located in different areas, and there's kind of like one person who's been more of like the point person, the cards for kids passionate person, and they've had their family have like a Zoom call, and they organized everything for them. Their family made it. Everyone sent it to that point person's house, and that point person sent it to us. So that was one way that they did it. But then, it could just be if everyone was already together, then you guys could just still mail them all to us. It's just if it is, we encourage, I'm not sure their age, but if it's people who are like under the age of 10 who are making cards, we think it is a little bit more fun if they write, when they're making the cards, we ask everyone to write their first name and city, or first name and location. But then if they're like under the age of 10, it's also a little bit more fun if they write their age on it as well. So that way, if it is like going to one of our senior homes, we just got some requests for some seniors getting birthday cards. So that way, if it was going to one of our senior homes, they'd be able to see like, oh, this card came, looks like this. It's exciting that I got this from an 8-year-old, or I got this from a 6-year-old. It makes it a little bit more exciting when they see the writing and the age associated with it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And let's see, were there any other? So I think there's still, and were either of them by chance in college, or were they younger?
My niece is in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is she's a 6th grader, and I think if we participate, my son who's here, I think he wants to participate too, and he's in 1st grade. But do you think it's a good idea for him to participate too, even if he's gonna be like, I don't know, not doing a perfect thing or something?
Yeah, and if I think he was wearing a Superman shirt. Is that correct?
Yeah, Benian?
Yeah. So it's yes, that Superman shirt. So if you can help us, can you make? Do you like Superman?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can make a Superman card, that would be appreciated, because we have a location in Las Vegas or Nevada who only want superhero cards. So we need to send them, we need to send that place superhero cards, plus have enough superhero cards for all of our other locations. So if you can make some superhero cards so we can have enough for them plus our other locations, that would be appreciated. So who else do you know besides Superman?
I know Batman
Okay.
and Spider-Man
Okay.
and
The green one?
Hulk.
There we go. Okay, that's good. That's if we can get those four, that'll work. And like I was saying, including his age on those cards, that'll be good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. All right. So yep, and you can like include it on there before, just reach out if there are any questions and we will be able to help them answer them for you guys, and looking forward to seeing those cards that you guys are going to create.
Okay. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. And we will send some cards.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.